total morar beklaad. Malungilan ng udal ngarter el along e delurior el kukmukut maklisel ngiya presidential press conference el alsil sa mau era bodo mo el e bodon tira pastor balgusan dario bolbas kitang lungu edrel al tutaw.
Rasel tinggal adios sige at press conference ang ara Proverbs sa 28 verse 2. Mulwa se abulu sel langariak langit yar merederengi adi mga tungod ore el amkuku. Hindi langarengi yar adon melom sarang rir e bugudas ya abulu am sisi e ultabel. Ubul Dios sangarayang dagi malol dang sarang mal mereng asulem el mga tigay kamam edam Dios sa masisi e ultabel al dosfir marandir el mga tigay tabe rab lumam edam Dios ramal mal terra el qamla tibir el alsil sedam Dios agi momu ultia press conference umrang ulsil sergar agi el gimoru lenga maskama malum sereng madu rogot maklela ungilurior mudur sia president mak kabinet ni al tutau magi rogul tol momsao el alsil sebolungi klawar ni ar ebol kel el laklar mam lo umrang ulsil sergar agi el gibom si sebrengi Modasi el altan ngarwil imam o litra lom seren raw mong tigay raw bolong tigay kan mol mu taw lo lel tel press conference al tutaw. Ka ong mam odong sam ngarang claim gol dingar edaw lo sebelum Yesus Kristus. Amen.
Alo ise malungil tutaw. Turu na kutel tale urang asulem bastar sandario lo knos em lo bigedrel al tutaw. Edung atale tong si arubak kal Dios durang asuler tangal tangat el beskid el iliak kal belu yang artial se adlo lger rankle gida mal kadong maral wase tangal tangat el belu legi dlo Dios el belu diregal sadang utial teal mosus ray bedul maraklay marbugul belaw pilong ebir klay mar masil belaw President Paules marugul senators speaker kanay marugul delegates diregal chief justice ngiray galaw mar justices mar bekal governors, speakers, lators, tugubet sa more other belaw. El ngarang ayang al mura hocharigi mangara ikrela blur belal al sils. Piregal sadrung utial teal recognize wase amged real tuta Minister of Justice Olgril, Minister MPII Obiang, piregal artia Minister MHRCTD Matul. Ambassador Regidar Marar, Roland Marar, Ambassador of Australia, Madiregal Chief of Staff. Kita mal mereng asular adra media lo mungkin al tutau, mal soal mutial teal mereng asular Mr. Diaz, Diaz Broadcasting, Mr. Claire Island Times, Miss Ringir Yabelau, Miss Tulobel. TMC. Yes, I forgot about TMC. Yo, magita mal full house rela. Rogun media ng artiang kadamrang asulir. Ng artiang ding alaga media hindi ka informed. We thank you for being here. Last press conference gide kadim na press conference mlaria omrole dan mora Blura Houston. Mga dikora di update gide sa omrole dan mora Houston se emle l'arranging adram rigel emle mokte kaniya a help rigid mo understand the system ra aircraft registry wase gida matatang isella ngara amdal olbira galulaw tukuning ngara amdal senate el matatal wase the setup ra aircraft registry gide some of the things that we've learned over the years roksel shipping registry maybe we can do things better adram rigel wase memo sa kumbali ram rigel. Maybe there's companies that can help you on this journey. So this other also was saying, malmle will meeting. We met several companies and mal willing and help Rablur Bela. Most importantly, the look model ligariya different than the shipping registry model. So say kumama bay so malego help build our local capacity. Eventually, hindi kami mo RTR registry. Tira say there's so much potential. Kasi Abela, we have to maximize our reputation of Abela maral isel belu, klabokal belu, ng asedro aseng sedro mutial pristine, luxury, and all of these things together. And so we need to do a premium aircraft registry. Ngora di ulus per example wase Abela sel what we want to promote as sel mo sel T sel symbol ra aircraft bela T amrigel a N sometimes aircraft ra da sorry lang area N registry to sem rigel mulmul to kare enemy amrigel mung hindi kalungil mung having a T is a more neutral partner, but most importantly, will image. So, for example, if you're a billionaire and you have a $70 million jet, you want to associate with maybe a more appropriate country. That's say a market that's other altogether. Ito umra lo sing cloteal ani mang تدري قم لهلب رادر الله أريد المسائل مثلا سيرتيال جيد عمله proposing لا نعرف البيرة قالوا لا so hopefully كذا ونيترا أدرا سنة تونيتي نعرف سنة نسي المريء ذا الباسرين ماذا ترليل موريو you know we really wanna our goal is that by next year and maybe we can have the first aircraft registered a Blue Bell and it will eventually it can employ maybe 12 to 14 high-paid inspectors, aircraft pilots, and all of those are part of the operation. So, trigal best the higher team regal uro, trigal ex-military. Kasi malpatok trigal na. So, it's another way for you to bring people home. You know, the blonde masadara, rangaligad wasem nutil merme. Well, we need to find opportunities for them. So this will hopefully open up a new industry and help abalwad magdam nga so surabram legam help connect and hopefully lang di pasar alla and move to the next stage. Akmar se mora meeting ra Blue Chabal selblel requesting engal deputy secretary of interior Bergam ngem lar sel nge basically nge chairman or sel energy dominance committee ra President Trump matamlar sila mas ay rogul te alal ensure energy security to sila kat energy secure and kat siya secure of course and right now kita mga sa mga madra Iran is raging and mesa said impact ra Strait of Hormuz matriga we're letting Asia know lo say Alaska bulang momba kasari sel help per kumira to kara kasara. So they were signing agreements sa Asia to get them gas and also fuel. So saying buy $1 Alaska $1 Middle East. So I think seluk o saying na America say how to be more energy secure. But the other thing diri kam leklol discussion or say atora nuclear. America of course is promoting small modular reactors. I get basically about 300 megawatt power stations. They've signed a deal with Philippines, Lomo project per se. And then I'm minis. Munari akong balim na sel the mini nuclear reactors. You know, as I shared at one of the press conferences, Secretary of Energy Ramrigel, Noble Laureate, one of the things that we have to change our thinking of us. The problem is nuclear maknit, waste, and all of these things. But I say it's clean energy, stable, and you have to have a mix in renewables if you really want to transition. So imura kombalem larse was interesting that they share technology still. Basically for the military, etamrula power plant, basically wasay sira 120-foot container. Itiyang producer 1 megawatt of power. And that 1 megawatt, tading util container mora site, ang operator to the 1 megawatt for 20 years. Ito mel swapri yung kung abesen. Ngal Secretary Interior sa tingada media di oger nang say, would you let your child or would you sleep beside the nuclear reactor? Mga sa response na kan mo media wa, mal simple. Other nga submarine na al seals. About next to a nuclear reactor 6 months down in the bottom of the ocean and mutel may masarablo. Ang aircraft carrier himel telalat matabadal next in morangal reactor. Ay proven technology that been out there over 50 years. So kasi Taman Marcelo say we have to expand our thinking and think about other solutions and get a clean energy future. So, teacher say and I think it's those reactors they were saying. I say 2027, the first 1 megawatt package will be out. The military is getting them, but it's something that we need to start thinking about today. Of course, would require a change. One of the things that tilin mo ringgil look adra kong balik kasi maybe ngil over Palau rapif because we talk about 100% renewable Pacific. Share look other options that are out there, and we need to learn. We need to be educated so we can make informed decisions. When it comes to making decisions, we should be based on science and data. Di ba sir dos adra atoro mo Mr. Diaz. Kada nasubi lo say a marine sanctuary protection is important. Right sizing, making sure that we optimize the use of our resources. So science has already told us, sir 50 miles in say protect that, and then beyond that, manage it. So of course, the mira adro albil, and dire hopefully at the el passing. Sila committee of the whole ngara a Senate longoraria a Florida leader Mariur. Yes, Florida Mariur. So ne passing house mo ding ngara Senate makado mingi term hopefully siya den maria del addressing. But these are things that we want to talk about a PIF. We want to talk about 100% renewable Pacific. We want to talk about our oceans and how we protect them and balance between protection and production. Dirigal sira de benara Rachabal, mloni atte le del open cell cybersecurity workshop semlanira sel obisra MPII mlara ngara airport and you know close to travel say when we talk about cybersecurity, it's the whole of the government, but in the policies that we need to put in place to ensure that we're secure, that we're resilient to keep those threats out. You know, one of the things that I say, they'll make sure that the standardized equipment travelment. For example, same computers, same operating systems. They're updated, taken care of. So those are ways to reduce our threats. Put more information in the cloud. They're stored and they're in a secure place so we can get up and running immediately. That's part of building resilience, but that also protects our economy. Friends Australia, ITU, they were here to help the conductor say World Bank. Our World Bank and help the conductor say and we are working on national cybersecurity strategy which will launch soon or maybe will take a time and the help can share it with the public Diregal we were saying Planisel launching a yellow vessels ko ira United and Lameraquam rather United and Askari del Mon Quadi share again our partnership with them. Most importantly, sell partnership with Tial router either Adrola Ablura Shabal Mabelaw. Gidan as I say took many partners. And I think United I'm proud of say it's an example of success how partners working together have been able to really deliver service that has exceeded expectations and it really was about de-risking and so we know lo say Ardra Blua Shabal Merbelar Elanga start flight immediately it doubled and so it's been a win-win for all of us. Win for United, win el Meragel hotels el mga rablur belau ma other tourist even in more public lang it now gives us another connection and more revenue in Meso Isbra airport rig. And then dirikal on Friday igida man mlara blue rai ne se the look se have the groundbreaking sel Basel school the Basel school include a parking ama dirikal demolition sel muut ma dirikal Basel cafeteria se mo kakaringa 5.6 million of course ludo dra compact under igagidele sel infrastructure manera compact the menga sule blue ramrigel ndi ang umrero ase part raigel ble onti del mora blue ramrigel sel skura ira se khot muro obis principal mersa ang oiga motor ayer classroom as a president their building ayer dim true. Do you know 2021 and there was no money. Maktira man brenga sulela of course a negotiating team blel hedringia minister Uduy mergo seral me one of the things el ngiru sel timara adara amrigel me seral mer belau etingiti trin motor tara school bloringia school amal gayo seral bora school amal gayo ga tira adara amrigel agalula adara ngolir of course minister Jenkins ordering sertire tase atial school amal talmal tia mal nagati kalgil waise mangwase yang amal merul adara amrigel nangartia logarak higamal mal waise but you know ngi do migral do awulen no se el amrigel designated seludo del la infrastructure mela gadamla repair egal school mol repair and then there's bes school rai bes school sel despadal more replaces sel school amal gayo of course radra ngana ngi saram la tabde out mo morol girel mla sata planning and then next construction amol girel say diregal sadalo isra sera Sunday engel goodwill ambassador gida minako tanaga madiregal sel engel president ra Sasakawa Foundation ma group rakmedel dart el adra ngalga shabal ma parents tir amler belaul el tia parte ser kora promote ra se we need to take care of the ocean, we need to reduce the use of plastics. And of course, so of course, ang malk tabo kala bela mo tamra mater bela ora di mra lames asen dia komi maging ara akulo amru le dia sa tamra sa tial bulu amra dia komi ri makase dekal I'm going to take you to a beach that mura komi ma agim lora honeymoon beach maging ar sel part trabaret te ko mar clean makoy ala por sel dekal private maging tour sel bitag eng tumbesa dekal wait sila komi remind rin kasi the reality padangal tatring megal tukal producer ablur belau di mga takpay kala komira ablur adon memoy trablur belau and it's a real threat to us so we need to work together so padamrenga sulir triana ka school mlese do mgedel mo brenga sula Dr. Roberts el man will host provider will lunch and more trigal el salid will continue to promote so you know it's about sharing and promoting and keeping the oceans clean, keeping plastic, banning plastic, but at the same time, in build their partnership with the Ramgirabla Shabal, Mgadamrenga, Asule Lagod with Ambassador, Sasakawa Foundation, Madirigal, of course, and all the partners, our ministers, Olgarilam, Obiang Ulbangadal Mom, the Mrenga Sula, Teokoram, the whole of government effort, they're working together to demonstrate partnership. Ang labes dirigal trigel rogul ambassadors material mlejo energid showing us in dirigal dil shabal ambassador shabal arse Australia ma Taiwan amlosil jo energid showing us it's a global problem, global issue that we need to work together on. Dirigal sodro iso ase first lady dirigal mirar sel Sunday el ukomte ergid first lady ra ablu ramregela Melania Trump amle invite our first ladies ra ablu lat or first gentleman and mo and there's a summit ra Washington DC ra alsil sama eli in line with cyber security, but more importantly, how do we protect our children from online threats, social media, and then develop good policies. Kita tingnan sa Trump launcher sel do saying AI policy rablo ramrigan, and I think there's things that adiri said do saying ngil do sube adiri kal implement rablo bela munguk neswal tegra uka First Lady Trump auk neswal tegra sel lidro say when it comes to children, how do the children fit into all of this, and how do we make sure that they're protected and have a secure future? So hopefully I'll make First Lady muksel update tigid of course I think it's today tala mura White House and mo tiga bay ngal by First Lady sa mura White House kita ko tiga katte den mo but anyway da pare mal basa nga makamatong. Okay. Lastly, this we have challenges all the time, especially Ministry of Justice. The minister ma so mutel te ale mal maringa asulela arbulis. Pak ministry tobra obiseng 6 o'clock at kaldi bram dar abla bulis. El tira basically neural double shift el gidam de assembly escape amador. Matamla rigo te kulo rabel separir el secure amador el mutel munme. Gidam de se we're working toward a new jail. We have problems. No dire koloni tramedia lo ase. Ayele agora kit el post nga social media mela ka dola front page at ya belaw. Au tru la front page lo bringa sudar budis ramri lu de. Akora di share oiling untrue statements post ra social media ka mal mela front page ba. Akora di ase ka kay nga sew. Give credit when credit is due. Last press conference, Minister we're coming after you. In the last month, more than 100 grams of ice have been confiscated. Cooperation or other working with police to share information. That's how we prevent it getting onto the street. So, Ministry المدير واسه ملام مرة يجيل tax refund الالسيلس this week كده مرة يجيل وكم روسلا social assistance كده عمدنا سين 2300 ترى مملا يجيل أو 2300 ترى ملما يجيل benefit certificate as of yesterday equivalent to 1.3 million. Of course, kita bigyan sa ulam sa parang natin el 2003 kita el seniors are special memalagel chegartir. Kita amda sa last el subsidies el child subsidy el kita mira other Ministry of Health and Human Services el mo confirm my numbers and they'll be distributing that. 1,300 ang ilara Eli self first day. In the first day 1,300.
306.
Utte da ludo utte number ara. Okay. Sudah. Kita may sa ina katangara bigyan arang kay celebrate intercession. Magdamay sa arang kita au kanay activities loro hindi there also are champions for ensuring people stay away from drugs. So they've had many activities to not only promote the marobra or spelam kitilgar, but also help them do positive activities that gets them away from them. Stay away from ayel malmalab dengel, mortu ayel ungil galar alsel abdengiu. Treat your body, as the Bible says, as the templora a Dios me dejaría to ayel gitralse. Imran bring asura me have stepped up and talked about drugs and talking about how we can work together. So, actimo kuigayid namo escribete la radra media mo gera question and question of our minister sa tangat dire chili long ya. Suna. Oh, yes, okay. Kabong Mr. Diaz.
Ito tayo, Mr. President, I have a list of questions. Hindi mo makasali ko sa gililanin luz marpakakalin direct. To be fair, mali mo ask a few questions. President, arala alu adimral morba. According to Trump, and was a temporary. Kamim so deal was a temporary. How long it's going to be? Rather alu ad gas filo mugal legal SUV til. O temalabu sorry local was ang lao o ang araklo mong take the price of gasoline la morba.
Yeah, I think close to tell one thing that we need to understand, we cannot control our price. Yeah, based worldwide demand. And we've seen these spikes before. You go back to 2008, $145. And you go before that thing. So this will happen. Can we predict to asing momre karo ina? Amring kita predict. The orang sera Fox News and CNN. Ito sa tiyan makamada ngari pasing momre karo amre. I guess one of the things that we need to understand as our only choice is to reduce our consumption of fuel. So that's why it's important to palasia that how do we transition on more renewables? So I said Australia, through that $15 million grant they gave us, they're giving us a battery by the end of April and more install so that we can capture even more or sell solar mong help rin raw karala dengi. Arala lu ayud raw kalam magikarem lai. Tiam le warning rabi fral ngas marado kam nam magikarem diri ng nguktrap palum kudu kom klomlit. Nga giredal ngungil the saver malas mal saver bekel time. Abay close to trust. So what are other programs that help? Namani bus system rin. Yeah, bus system rin da ngari gilos pe adeiser and hopefully by PIF mo gilos pe adengi. So those are ways that we're trying to do to help other ablu. Marin ara lamlem parker set SUV ang ngari abas set ortar.
Follow-up question. FSM own their own gasoline company. Kadamlat siya kalwa siya a system los pe ni FSM ngungil marala ng ram the switch over el FSM system.
Yang maralway say kita dengan siya seral al mobile seral pull out temle proposal temle divest temle andap blue bay ang sel share mobile rebelaw sel ngura FSM government FSM amit arar sel portion ra mung sera na madakal sebedele ordering private ro kumbala ownery but I think directly get na mo mesra say ngari atang ngari der FC go. Maybe namo time one of the options we should consider maybe having reserves. Maralu store atang. Misal ngari atang ngari der ngari FC go malbato. So these are things that we should think about for future. Kasi how do we help rauk pelwadaleng? We don't know say next emergency meron yun. Oy ngari am kamadara ay Iran la. Albore am kamadara Sina ma ba Amerika. I mean, these are challenges that we have. So we have to think strategically long term as how do we build resilience. But one way, ulam na malsorisel concept of nuclear for the military. They don't have to worry about diesel transport and more field the runner seliga. Gal nuclear kaldo 20 years loruta dengi. So these are challenges to change the way we do energy.
Sula, thank you.
Ngiltud ka, question nga kati amara Mr. Obi ang olgaril I think President jadi so kalogel grel update 12 as facility 12 as prison facility da kami expect la mo open albuil so yeah ni update sil grel sir.
Diam sulara agere me kita أقول لك من set تايم لاين من start late last year المرت المير الآن dia kado nguida alda do almarar adarablu malubet adal tira ongar uspera kalbus digde milas mal seta timeline e pus rakan traktor sa maurior mang legar dire kal ngari nga experience rigid ba sel nakamangal a time yar kan traktor ngari nga baby retirel mo dia kal ngaklo clear in time ra outside na makarang o taklit al telal buil aska extension mang mangal no passer ti aluro mang kardi milas mal seta timeline al di short tiang president omdasulwa sengira del di pusa galuro that's another way say del pusa kan traktor was al sumurela erul buil Kulit sa umiruli ra talbuil ma ringel lalo bang al sela talbuil. Bola kal sabel oy. Hindi posisi ulta mer adat adire kal blakaran di lomes lo sengaringa progress ra igaluro reor. El logi wa gidem. I hope per ada dia kabol raran di lo sa gimera a press conference yo mula kara malubagi muida tokoira adara blulo seng mombre kara February March dia Katol dageta kay galuror magi setay ke pusa bola kal sabel agi di akmadingel waseng maldi meredo di telgi bukum de luror merko kata rogit tiang ladi telal builam de le merkon sabel rogit tiang luror agi askak lode na rebeklat akmadingel wasa minister olgarila mongal tokong na all patamam leng tia tire kal mal na baby ra alda tu moringi dia kal lamaral wa isel da tu dia kal telmelela minister malubet adlo rur trabla kal busuk maral ngaringa a cloud challenge sa abli la kal busuk gida man agi adi sebegel len ser kawa say ngaringa timeline el gible set malasam lo de kita kay gay bola kal motirakle arugul klalo dia kal ngarbelaw material sa mga supplies and those pe kada import a baby
And I think something in the sharing, Minister, unfortunately, a design el mirul girela black albus 2019 or whenever it was done was really deficient. Took up problems. Malakad ma mruring Minister, abes el Minister among us. Tiang aram dim lakal mrur, tiang aram dim lakal mrur, tiang kita of course akadamle dependra CIP, mamle ongara a jail cell time sa anudaiga were addressed. Everything from awum loru lakal ringi so visiting, so there was a lot of shortages that have been seen, so they're fixing them. The update was one team lagi mesal problem, namo problem, adengi. We have the funding, so we put it out to bid. Elmo murura adengi mora in January. Emla idea to sa kamamadi sa PUC sa LD 6 weeks and ruling. Well, dol tirak legal bid rakabalment to require the giril producer aban the giril. El diwa arbek contractor. Edi kat sa amal waiver selling nla mulwaising. So we've gone to the OEK on March 9, nakadam send a letter regarding mora speaker, ma present the Senate. Only tirtiro say we need amendment tel moralla allow a PUC the tell owner ya government 100%. Ilal requirement the requirement tel mora PUC ma igagi dele PNCC le tiga provide a service el mergit. A clocklet sel proposer tel el banding ngodol kong bali amruri achum model finisheri ngodol de garte. We can also do the same thing and hold them accountable. But so if they had to get a bond, a problem, that's just like getting a loan. So it would require PPUC to get clearance from the board. Doesn't make any sense. So we said, amend the law. So I'm requesting to get more bill. Hopefully, in session or April, kasi al celebrate mandiri kal malungi lagi ko And then after that, then say move to David, PUC say ligang, and then hopefully 6 weeks after that, then now installation na dengue. So that's probably the biggest hold up right now. Mas installation na dengue. Mang sulang roger ay maldimir olbil mali pa sa yung baksayan. Okay. So
I mean, quick follow-up, President, Director, Minister Direct, diya ka sole source, also kumang diya ka ngot ang ngarbela also be erulitil al luring, does he have to go to bid? Ako the questioner say, del to kora rengi.
Kadamni tiya ong eru time in the open rabi teli. Kita amne hotel the open ring indim nakaadal. Mandi ako dingel waseng adal aulam da solo aset tiya ko PUC. Ingar alelay galuror mentira. Di PUC direkal segide. No mering retira to wara panding a performance fund akire mal puta 100% al bandara igal project. Meaning el waseng way selul ko nga president ay ulang require al banda sellable ala kam brigira udor serbela wal ubeng mo komna mo ringa problem arkaul complete raudor segi del banda pa dos pering il complete ay galudor mauulang kada requiring titiaw ngel time el david ebaim no sabela PPUC makadamne open ring il direct al moral bibira contractor
there are sole source there are issue. I issue a tier requirement tra contractor say you require bonding. Tira de calciro la band, lenguk mo require a guarantee. And then the guarantees have to come from the national government. So that's why we need to amend the law. Olbila, both houses, we've met with them to understand. So hopefully, hindi mariadal. Kung nasa kung na-printer sila rin mga newspaper, mga alsel, sulang.
An issue of PPUC, President Tokora, may follow-up person na question na diyas, tell was umunta sa nga enough, not enough. Aigel nga rin solar production, energy production na PPUC, umunta sa sabiel increase to where and sabiel telgibel reduce ra uspaal diesel. Mo riwa arala dengi anticipate was coming next billing session kalin salman moro papa arala dengi ra.
Yeah, so the was first of all current level or I think he'll provide solar is like 20%. Di sel dia dos peril dengi makadiri kal hararing. Sel savings sa diri kata salary license. Sel bolor el battery and then kadamran mo filler sell 14 cents so it will and we will be generating at least 25% tra los peri PPUC. El dengi. So answer sel question and I think one of the things that we've learned the system we've upgraded a transmission line. Now think about next level. Get the next renewables and how do we do that?
So Aigel battery dollar Australia will be you're saying Aigel amo installed around August. Mula dia ka to realize that April.
So hopefully by June I'm lama order. I hope. Gira di meta plug-in is that los pen.
And following up on that, the dire ka to era energy cost sel budget 2020 sel original draft sel final draft Senate House lilgorgaw am naring sel subsidy utilities ne 1.7 million if I'm not mistaken gamne reduce ringil mo 400 some thousand ngaring bill Senate 12-46 am napas mora House el restore sel malas me restore seguida el amount se onda sa el mercado el mga mo help mitigate expense na dengi al ube
well first of all gidam lar sel ngari ora la alu So nga kumra alwa sa while al time, al both the face it tial nga sa klaral, this is an appropriate time to implement the subsidy. That's why hindi kaliyal di of the subsidy all the time. Sila nga rin crisis ay of the subsidy, and this is the appropriate time. Mang gadamli ato dugid maradro olbil. One of the problems that current la el ngilo olbil ngutungi adekal allow ra PPUC change our rate. Now, ngari debate tertilo sa hindi kan sabel. Hindi AG wase alla amal blakatak. Dim change ra alla di mo ngaramo. Ngaramo kumrula alla albay mo. Olib songolem nga sangarigit. So, akora aldadure lang wase proposer amendment nubati say modokera subsidy may ma PUC collect tagel girel collect. Deng de kalso dan mata dengi egi duk tel para trablul leng tos pa anya sule ara la dengi ngaro. So, those are the worrying. So, hopefully, alsan biyo deng April, ara drol bila o ba, igating aram diri ara rogo im kada mirtir.
At arala dengi, I mean arala alu ada kadil affect ra bakal ramlay maybe kad anticipate tula siya ako next shipment ra aklal maser ngaral murbela wa direk kalmo masa arala abto el tokoy ngari ako ra beside the tegi del fuel subsidy ngari ako ra recommendation of labom da suringil mo o help el medicator siya lo kada mengil mo madangalil waseng malwangarangi eko om da sul gire.
Gitsel dorul atuan dadi dorul kaisa mrungun bukta tosiga. Kada mrungun atual make sure ara dabay tiar drang clear amral morbab. They're prepared and then they can adapt. So that's why in the past 5 years, yung na increase ang dudirara. I say a minimum wage just this last year am namo $5. Kadamla increase government salaries another 10% to 10 lomer. And we've increased our subsidy. Tigil do southern im for area lang 600. I guess well the return mo adrablu help pertira wa gagidel el crisis and you know it's ngora ngora timing legal refund na maruga to ba igida albang artial crisis digida igida ngar alserela. Now going forward kodome sara laklalo, and that's why all bill has to always be forward thinking. Nga umbral was minimum wage needs to continue to go up. Ideally, next October, another 75 cents. Following October, another 75 cents. So, assume they are proposing all bill, I'll propose it in the budget. Very umbral was egal raise sa government, mangiral malmol. Lang not only to arala adang ok, hindi rin kalsado make sure kita competitive marang kita nga rekla blue belaw. Mesero sensil di kira bela dekal root tomar ikra blue bela le opportunity ang arte. So those are the two things we muna losing going forward, and said the law will help para adrabalo.
Kodi sa follow up president lak alwi ng ngaring sel report tara del economic advisory group el mention tilagi del wase aigal raise salaries lungasewa ablo oil di ding mas maara laklalwang mas mangwabola ka selmal ni uchiringi ba question na say ngaring ya ko daswel gire la price control alu ngaring ya lady dolgas tel ara laklalwang according to that reporting maklalwa aududir ara ding mas maara ara laklalo obanggel marba panda kamal
Similar sa report.
Mlar sa report ra economic advisory group.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I disagree. A reality, kita importa mostra klokle. So, asel labor input ra aklalo agegre. So, umre sa udu de la eng moklo molari na tourist in mekmer de belaw. So, aklol increase amora angel other outside in mesois bra ara blur belaw. Ya, angkal other belam na increase buying power ni yaklo mostra klal dola the import. So now they can afford what they're buying. So you have to look at kodome sa arangal tial economy kasi mukara impact ra other bel. Mukara mungira tlangar other bel. So yes, ngari appointing malmura mo dekal siya del affordary, but measured and akong mura sa a report adim lang kalam to kay wage increases that we've had. Tilal argument ro sa mas wages mas aralak lalo is only part of the equation. Ngem no mas arangal tial to. Yes, mas aralak lalo trip hindi sel mlamo trip lang ara ipingan ng alada may namo okrok. Namo dekal sa liya kare buang aram.
My last question kay President, tiale, bato kay gagidal ko domestic issues sa gidal, including ikal issues sa blabulis, tukod drugs, nga niya kay tell me report kasi you were seeing more nga niya more actions sa tukod drugs sa domestic nga niya klol amount ra drugs sa blam confiscate ngi but dire kal bato kay el bill sa ngar all bill el dire kal pending. Looking at reports sa kao regal Amerikal buil even last year, looks like out of its month, 10 days of its month, kangarbela most of the time travel. El bato kay el meetings, el boringil, bato kay information, el pomongod ado ringi, maluba ka mo, most of the time, nga niya roller ka, I believe in those trips. My question as ngaringi time el sab el igal lomrolem el mom kasay kawa handle el domestic issues, for example maybe labil gede legal betok important bills el pending al ube as it is now omundaswing igal lomrolem maklo abe ani uchiring il mela blurbela as opposed to being present tra blurbela raklol temem. Comment sel question ang ako roundabout but do you understand?
Kita kakaru sangar alet. May say? Ngarala olbira kalulal pasal la. May say? Kita amnadar sa bringe del mong, kita meter tir. But ultimately a decision is their decision. May say? Abay question o say, hindi ka mo kira atro olbilo sa ngam dekal pasal la. That should be the question on mortir. Mura masang om dase ngarela president el pasay galla ngarela olbi el pasay galla. And yeah, maybe they need more time and lada do. So sila ngari opportunity agada do. And I had meetings with the Senate and my House this past 2 weeks. Ukti one-on-one meetings with them. And proud to tell the meter team. They discuss issues. I know ukara issue appointment to our ministers, of course, olbi lamle suri dra TCN. Ayga dekal mlamre kay sila TCN. Moving forward, our ministers, basically, they don't want to give them an opportunity to be voted on the proper way. This already denied till. We'll just move on. So I think at least again, set aside, willing to say let's just work on the problems. Other issues. So hopefully we're at a better stage now to just address issues. 4 bills in the last year is unacceptable. So to the helper tilo say sabele no session rulang alim. So to claim lo say because akar omraling therefore the city already doesn't make sense to me. Mogera the rule already lo say ram the already. Alak ngartian mo the rule already la minister? No. Apart ng la president agirel el modu ulam tera blur belaw. And of course au ulang klangas ang mara blur belaw. Kidel el mara advocate modu girela belwadara liu klablula. So that's part of our responsibility. So sulang.
O mga aktilo la last question ndik me sa Ambassador Australian ngatang. Mr. President, ngaringi budget na ato velgedel sel embassy na kita mo ngira Australia. alubeng changari sel bachetra Ministry of State sab el gabera igel alak alwi den gora ngai sel addendum.
A budget ter Australia, awul kadam la appoint ter ambassador already ngari. So, ngara chala tel nombre 2026 budget. There's a line, Australian Embassy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Sulara teale presidenta iliwisel memor pemsenderi oya el melwa se limita questions in mo 1 or 2 before fair for everybody. And I have a line of questions to ask in the time.
Sorry, harap mo. Kaba.
Kita question. Silver Hair Program. Ang at pangam legot terbeludo siya utumal mora Silver Hair Program. Sengirel gere president.
So actually, Southern elite visa. Kadalom tingin yung asing ariya tingin ng sang sel. And other Senate, automatically revised the version. Namora House. So hopefully, hindi mre del may mkatasayin ni. Sige ta, adong iri. Another thing that I hope, there's other way April, but hopefully, hindi mre. Mrang ariya other, sorry, apply sel elite visa, but it needs to be done. It needs to be amended. So.
Again, storage batteries relal toreng si selwa seng maral me. Again, within telang tarak, nerura. Maral ngarngil was a tamo provide Australia or somebody. Got it to the president, Mr. Lagol May, ekatang mayo gere.
Oh, yeah. Part sa niya already malakpan na dervelaw. Igel maklol klalo arrive ra endra April. Physically merbel.
I see.
Igel klalo merbel, merbel.
Lately, hindi makmata dengi. Naraul mo di makmata dengi.
Oh, dahil tila question ng PUC hindi ko ulit tila problem. Limlak asker til me.
To relay, I can message the board.
Hindi ako sulang ha. Mahalak tira kan mo ko lang na PUC me kasi ngaram hindi makmadaling.
Idalas the question around. Another government, amoray galbering la aral conference room, you breakfast, you dinner, lola ba, udamar taxpayers. Since Emirates to the one more till was bring you lunch and drinks when you come so we can save some money.
Hindi ang tila malulungin. Otherwise.
Yung three adra president.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
Another blue also nga rin tira man meetings.
I see. Di kaya the president taga ma'am Sula.
Okay. Sula.
Mr. President, the last question coming this last one. Kamle mentioner tegi del besel dasura kaya del compacted the nuclear reactors. It was saying maybe we should look at that as additional option, like renewable energy. Ati domestic nga wanda issue marar LR region ergida siya pala osi ka basyol bolongoy ta nuclear waste ringi. Mang maybe lack of understanding ang karakukto ko ra kaya dong compact nuclear generators. Hindi how is that mga rato ko ra waste ra igeng di prepack to energy malotral mergi dapol likat tamel mayel waste mal maraela. And how are we contributing el kuktire ka sub kadmo ra way kay in almorato ko ra waste nuclear waste management ako wala ikan maklol reactor abula.
So, cell proposal sa Kumbali, they do exactly that. Tungun, let's say, tungun merbela, o installer ni, those period 20 years, the maintainer ni, cell bon bergat tungun mo. Similar to solar. Kada pera so much per kilowatt at the provider is kind of concept. Mundi kada masangara waste tree, tirang mo mura mereka le clear sa lukul ngaralil.
So, follow-up processal tel project ra otekal nga malakayong. Is that also part of this energy? Is that going to be siyang mo o part ra energy renewable energy contribution lalo bang gukti something else?
Gala a challenge that we have with OTEC, a cost. Estimated tira 1 megawatt cost 35 million to install. So, jaiga trigger the promise was by Fifth area at sample already already I guess 2 tribal so hopefully and that can be done. But we're only talking about 1 megawatt, aling one. We need 15. So it's and Selwana Minister Katraba. So let's say 15 and you need 500 million to do to Kaberbelo. So right now solar is cheaper for that. So we have to do a combination. And this solar alone, that's an order. Like you need base load. A base load has to be either diesel or nuclear or some other stable energy source. And silsa, saying may have all of those challenges.
One last friendly question. Wangara the will read my Adram Miguel since and we did honor my local fulfill the requested the asylum program. But the Gil say is all Wangara working relationship with my Adram Miguel.
Well, we'll spare an example or sell nature brigade in Houston and help brigade at Tora aircraft registry. Amrigel, Amral, Omesa, Singarigel, other Narigel baby at the Al, El Bella Seluk Margel, at help brigade El Moril Teal. So say example, took Nakasela, you help Belau. If you know about the compact, a Marshall Ablel help per Tira Tora shipping registry. Same now they get $15 to $20 million a year. You get a shipping registry. Let's help them at the journey aircraft registry. So I think example their efforts to try and help. Of course, hospital. Baby at time the chief of staff of Miguel Hawaii, the water even more uncomfortable the highlighter belager was trouble. But anyway, I think say otis say look the Tiram Miguel was all Lotiro Sengagida so man. But anyway, that's say the Tiram Miguel. So said Talborega get a sign and rule.
So in other words, we're okay with the United States government.
They're there and they're willing to help us challenges.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now that's why they'll get a pension. They get a pension, the $20 million that they gave us for pension and another $6 million at TCN. We need money. Okay. In fact, just a few days ago, last week, a phone call of staff. Appropriations or foreign affairs are blue Ramrigan. Both the Republican, ma Democrat. Get staff for Lindsey Graham, ma staff for Senator Schatz. Let's already update to us hospital in Girelger. How can we help? You know, of course, administration are already all do, so they want to make sure the Congress is on the same page. And so yes, so there was a compact and if you look at the history of but they want compact and that's it. They are novel extra. Gadaman nga sulam real na open up to extra. And continues.
Ako na di concerned wala din ka pero siya invitation na President Trump and Mergao personally kasi gukmem da do laman masara magmath.
Hindi help hindi ka bulol do Mr. President Trump. Mga important ngel adal Secretary Landau ngel mal to ka power la ngel ngora Pacific ngel mler belaw. And he's coming back to PIF. Ngel leader girela tora hospital mo. Ngariar adal. I know he's busy. Gidamal Kigarel Bloom, so sometimes hindi ka temel masigit, but maybe sell ball table free up lang. I'm sure tell my mother Irana is a big issue for him that he has to deal with. So okay. Sulang, saya ako tel kadebel press conference kita within 1 hour. Aman lispidon mo do. Okay. Adung hotel teal de orang asulit tigel other government travel sales il tira mashorgi de ukto bet sel sales tira al sales. So happy birthday. El mora ragok singeo gangara Bureau of Foreign Affairs el mora la bilateral affairs. Badira el mora frangi alul el ngara ARF operations. Ma Oh, dimla ka elang. Sorry nga dimla gisat tial note. So, semle eli, yaklugo, oh, diak. Diak, tia March 26, tia mle eli.
25, no?
Klugo. So, kada, since dimla ka el al sil 25, sorry. Kada, tiga mle eli 24, that's interesting. Dimla ka imol la trakalmente mle March 25th. March 26, ngari are 3, 4, 5. Ngari are 5. Ngari Fabiana, Yaro Fral, Ganur sa ngari MHHS, diri kal ngari Vernie Niraget, nga Sensergi nga Skura Blilio, ngari Russell Roman, nga Public War, nga CIP, Ashley Yada, nga diri kal ngara ARF, nga MPII, Madirigal Kafar, where belau. Gangara, omugyat nga special assistant sirigi dara tukara hel. Damal mrenga sulir, sel rendir, mashura other belau. Happy birthday. Donitra aklangal tangat el mortir, donitra aklangal tangat el morabek la other belau, ablu other ablur belau. Ma 2 weeks from now, upodo ka Swiss. Umsula. Okay. Maral waise gida mal dayon sa tigil milingis ra ido awul kada kertial mal klabo le wil blue es el bakal merelang gada merang asulir maul kada bro sa 600 sula